Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 11th. This week, we're going to jump right in here. You can't make this up. You have this card that says, watch your words. You always get this card with me, Leo, and you have this Wolf Spirit says, turn knowledge into wisdom. It's like, I don't know, for years, you've been getting these cards that say, watch your words with me. So clearly, it's time for Leo to make sure, and it has been time for you to make sure that you are kind of using your words wisely. And you have this Waking the Lion card, which I definitely love to see. That it would definitely be a Leo card. So that looks good. But I would watch your words. I am getting something different, though, for you, Leo, that you should also be careful, like, who you tell what to. I was literally about to say, loose lips sink ships, right? And you have a ship right here. This card says travel on it, but I was literally about to say that as I pulled that card. So there you go. I would say that, it might be a good week for you to keep ideas to yourself, and, especially if you're working on anything important or anything behind the scenes or anything that you don't want people to know, I would keep it to yourself, plain and simple, right? And sure, I will take both of these cards here. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Five of Cups. I'm pretty sure that you get the Ace of Pentacles with me a lot. There could be an opportunity right in front of you, Leo, that you need to see. Is kind of what's popping into my head. We go down to the Four of Cups, to the Six of Pentacles, right? It's like this would literally, he's being offered a new opportunity, but he's been disappointed too many times before with the Four of Cups. And the Six of Pentacles basically says you should try something. I'm not telling you what to do. You can do whatever you want. But the Six of Pentacles says if you are getting any opportunity this week for anything that you want, that the Six of Pentacles is like a small investment. It's like taking a small step on this right here. So, if it's love, for example, it would be like going out on one date and, not investing too much and just seeing how things go. If it's business, same thing. It would be like taking a small step and seeing how things go. If it's your health, same thing. Taking a small step and kind of seeing what grows and seeing what doesn't. That's the simplest way to be successful with the Ace of Pentacles is, this right here is a garden. And the Ace of Pentacles just says, that you have to give it, this opportunity, water, fertilizer, sunlight. You have to treat it like a garden. You have to nurture something into existence. But you can start small, and as long as there's growth, then you can keep going, right? And so that's kind of what's popping to my head, is that it would be worth it for you to take a risk on something this week, especially if you're getting any type of opportunity at all, period. You don't have to make that full commitment, but just like a tiny little step, right? You have the Ten of Wands here. I think this is classic Leo as well. Ten of Wands can represent carrying the burdens of other people sometimes. I like the Ten of Wands because he's very close to achieving his goal, which I do feel for you, Leo, that you could be very close to achieving your goal at this time. But at the same time, I feel that, he can't see the forest through the trees. He's got too many responsibilities that he's carrying, and so he can't see. Like, if you look at his face here, it's being blocked by those wands. So he has no clue how close he is to his goal because he got too much going on, right? And I kind of do just, like, this card isn't saying much to me in your reading. It's just basically saying lighten the load, right? Maybe there are some things that you don't need to be doing. Maybe there are some things that, like some responsibilities that really aren't yours that you shouldn't be taking on. And so I would be looking at those things in my life if I were you, and I would be cutting them out, whatever those responsibilities are, right? You have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can represent regrets or sadness. I don't really feel that for you here, Leo. But I do feel things are changing in your life. He's grieving the loss of these three cups, but he needs to turn around and see these two cups. It's one of those things. I really feel this for you, Leo. Is like I've been feeling. I don't think I've said this to you yet, but for the past couple weeks, like I feel like Leo is one of the signs that's like a little bit ahead of the curve, just in life right now. Sometimes I think when that happens, right, we can get a little bit too far ahead of ourselves, and then things don't work, but they will work in the future. What the hell am I talking about? It's like, well, it's like, kind of what I feel for you is it's like hard to describe, but like if you're working on something it's like I feel it'll be successful, but it's like maybe not like as quickly as you think. And I just get this feeling for you that you should not give up on something that you're working on. I think you're just like a little bit in the future, if that makes sense. It's like you might be thinking, oh, this isn't gonna work, or people aren't receiving something well that you're saying. But it's like, yes, right now, but I think maybe maybe what you don't realize is that you're almost seeing the future right now, Leo. And I feel like that's very important for you to understand, is that you shouldn't give up on something, especially in like work or business. Like if people aren't understanding it and everything, just keep going, because I feel like people will. You're just like, I think you just don't realize you're a little bit of a trendsetter at the moment, or, like I said, maybe you're just a little bit too much in the future. But I also don't think this is a bad thing. It's like, because when we get to the future, if you don't give up, then you're going to have built a very solid foundation. So, I would keep going, right? I wouldn't give up at this time. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. I love when the Ten of Pentacles comes up for you, any of the fixed signs. I think it's probably one of the best fixed sign things that fixed signs could be doing at this moment is, building, leaving a legacy, or, working on something permanent, or working on something that can support you for a long time. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. Yes, it could be love for some of you. It does seem to be a good time for love for Leo. I mean, you do end with the Ten of Cups as well. So the Ace of Cups is about your emotions overflowing. If you are attracting a connection. The Ace of Cups can also be anything else. Like, again, to me, if this is basically saying with that Ten of Wands, if you are not absolutely like ecstatic to be doing something, then you probably shouldn't be doing it, right? Or if something leaves you feeling drained after, then you definitely shouldn't be doing it. Things don't have to be perfect with the Ace of Cups, but for the most part with the Ace of Cups, we should be able to recharge our batteries very easily, right? Because the cup can reach down into the water below it and fill itself up very easily. And so the whole point of the Ace of Cups is like the things that we should be doing with this card are things that either do fill us up or at least return the favor. There should be, like if it's a job, for example, it's like maybe it's not perfect, but also maybe it doesn't really drain us. Maybe it, maybe there's like at least 50-50 kind of trade-off here where it's like you do the work and at least the money makes up for any tiredness, right? Or whatever, right? As long as there's balance is what I'm trying to say. So things don't have to be perfect with this card. Now, if there is overflow, that's great. If there are things that you can do or that you do, that cause overflow or give you back more than you put into them, then great. But I would definitely be paying attention to that. It seems to be something that comes up for you a lot, Leo. With the Five of Cups, you have the Empress. In a lot of ways, this first part of the reading is saying you need to treat yourself like the Empress, right? You have that card, that Parrot Spirit says, watch your words, right? It's like the Empress would talk to herself very kindly, and she would be gassing herself up all day long, right? So I think you need to do that. I think the Empress is about you. It doesn't matter what gender you are either. I think it's more just saying the better you take care of yourself, the better life is going to take care of you, and the better life is going to treat you. I also think the thing with the Empress is we talked about nurturing energy. She is the most nurturing energy in the tarot, but you have the Ace of Pentacles as well. So I feel this is saying you need to nurture the things that you care about at this time, and that's it. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Waking the Lion card, makes perfect sense. You have this Into Me I See card, which is like intimacy. So I feel that you are waking up to your true power. Perfect card for you, Leo. You're definitely waking the lion here. And the intimacy card is probably that Empress energy, right? She is kind of like intimate with herself. She understands herself. She understands how to scratch any of her itches, right? And all that other stuff. So she understands how to take care of herself. She understands what she needs. And, it kind of reminds me, it's kind of funny because my dad's a Leo, my brother's a Leo. Everybody in my family is basically a Leo, right? And it's like out of all the signs, it's like, if my brother's sick or whatever and I ask him what's wrong, he can never, like, he absolutely cannot describe it, right? Like, what's wrong with him. So, to me, that is a lack of being intimate with yourself. If you can't describe what's wrong with you, and again, not a criticism, by the way, Leo, but I'm just saying, it's like, if you can't describe what's wrong with you, then it's like maybe you aren't in touch with yourself. That's just like one example, right? And so I feel this is saying you need to care about yourself enough to be intimate with yourself in the sense that you understand what makes you tick, you understand how to be successful, you understand how to nurture yourself, and you understand what fills up your batteries with that Ace of Cups, like all that, right? I would be paying attention to all that. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles, like a change in direction. So I feel for a lot of you that there could be a change in direction coming in for you, right? He's looking at these Seven Pentacles, and he's basically saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I don't know here, Leo. You could be looking at something you're working on, and you could be saying, like, is it worth it or not? And you have to make that decision. So, especially with that 10 of Wands, there are 10 of Wands, Ace of Cups. There are some things that are going to drain you. There are some things in your life that are going to fulfill you. And this might be just a great week to make that your focus, right? Like sometimes I think a reading, there's a lot of stuff here, but sometimes I think a reading, and I think this is better than anything else, by the way, just having one thing to work on instead of a million. I think this reading is just saying, you have one thing to work on, which is you need to pay attention to what's working, what's not working, and just do what works, right? And if you do that, then things will go well. I do feel like some of you could be experiencing work change, by the way. You have, if you're wanting a job or anything like that, this is very good. Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, could be like some sort of work change. You have the Four of Cups. Like I said, I feel like you need to let go of past disappointments. I also think you need to look at what you've learned from past disappointments and apply them to new opportunities. So if you have been disappointed many times in the past, I feel like this could be saying, that there could be a new opportunity coming in for you that will be very successful. So love it. You have the Two of Wands. In your next row, you have that ship card that says travel on it. And so, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do feel some of you could be traveling, or you could, I feel like you're planning travel in the future. Some of you don't even know that yet. By the way, Leo, I feel like some of you don't even know that you're about to travel in the future. So there you go. That could include a move. And, I feel like for some of you, this could be something that happens over the next year or so, where it's maybe you're not exactly planning on moving, but I do feel like you're going to be moving into new places. One thing to think about is having that is next year Jupiter moves into your sign. Jupiter's going to move into your sign, and then it's going to pretty quickly retrograde out of Leo next year back into Cancer before officially moving into Leo. But, sometimes I think that Jupiter in the first energy, even though we're not there yet, right? Doesn't matter. Even though we're not there yet, I think that energy can cause us to expand in the world. I always tell people astrology is like a wave. You want to catch that wave early. So even though we're not there yet, even though Jupiter hasn't moved into your sign yet, I'm telling you what to do right now, right? Or I'm not telling you what to do. You can do whatever the hell you want. I really honestly don't care. But, what I would recommend is taking up more space in the world, which I also think is part of Pluto and Aquarius for you, Leo. Pluto is your, Aquarius is your opposite sign. So what I would be doing if I were Leo is taking up more space with my ideas. Being more bold with the things that I share with the world, including if you want to start a YouTube channel or something. If I were a Leo, and I didn't do this right here that we're doing right now, and if I didn't have 10 secret YouTube channels as well, then I would start. I would start a podcast, a blog, a newsletter, something to put your words out there, right? Watch your words. But I would be doing something that would get me attention, right? And I definitely feel like you should, because the attention exists. And if you catch that wave early, it could be very beneficial. And again, here's the thing that I tell people as well, is I think it's an amazing time to collect experiences, right? I literally use a note-taking app called Cortex. I used to use one called Obsidian. What I do is knowledge into wisdom right here, the Wolf Spirit. I'm giving you one of my biggest life secrets right here for free, right? Is what I do is I take notes on things that I'm learning, about YouTube and everything else. Then I go and I implement what I learned. Then I take a note on what I learned, what actually worked with what I learned. Instead of just taking things as gospel, I write it down on my note-taking app, and then I take a note. Some of you, if you're in one of my groups, which a lot of you are, you've probably heard me talk about this. But then I take a note in that note that is where my experience, what I went through. Experiences are the only thing that AI cannot do, right? So by doing this, I have a collection, hundreds I've worked up to over the past few years, just about YouTube alone. Never mind all the other things I take notes on in there, right? So I have a note-taking app with all my notes, with a bunch of experiences. This is what will make you valuable in the future. It's like I tell people all the time, imagine you had a job where you're a nurse. Or no, that's actually, yeah, whatever. We'll use nurse, right? If you learn outside of work and you just took one note a day, imagine what happened if you lost your job. You could easily go and apply to another place with nurses, and you could say, not only am I the best freaking nurse in the world, I can prove it because I've taken these notes right here. Bust out your laptop, right, and say or your phone, right? You can do this in Apple Notes. You can say I've taken these notes. I take time to learn, and so there are things that I might not know, but I have a resource that I've built over the years that I can just tap into based off of my own experience, where I can get more out of it, right? So I'm the reason I'm ranting about this here is because, again, I think that, like, if I were Leo, that's definitely something I would focus on with this, is like building something that is valuable to you. Because if you do that, you'll be very successful. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is like a perfect match. So yeah, if you want love, by the way, definitely could be a very solid connection. Could be someone different than your usual type, or there might be some sort of difference here, but I don't know. Looks good to me. With the Four of Cups, you have the Star. We talked about Aquarius, right? And so I think for a lot of you, it's your time to shine. It's your time to stand out. Your time to wake the lion with that Waking the Lion card. With the Two of Wands, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you're finding new people. This has come up for you many times before, Leo, that a lot of you could be finding like new groups of people to belong to, or new people to connect with. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Toxic Triggers card. It says, find the strength to remove yourself from toxic influences in your life. You have this Travel card. It says, you're attracting positive movement or travel that will bring your desires to fruition. Love it. So, yeah, this doesn't even have to be a move. It could just be a movement. You could be going from one job to another. You could be going from one gym to the other, making a change like that. And I think that would be great. I think the toxic influence is your words, like we already talked about. And also maybe other people's BS with the Ten of Wands. Like I always say, sometimes I think the Ten of Wands can just be other people's problems that they're putting on us, and we just need to say no. You have the Queen of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. Queen of Wands, I definitely feel like you're going to have to be bold and assertive and like really make things happen at this time here, Leo. So I would do that with the Queen of Wands, here, is I would like be bold, be assertive, and really kind of like make things happen at this time. That's what I would do with the Queen of Wands, plain and simple. You have the Page of Swords. I'm going to show you here on the table. Page of Swords is looking over to the Star and the Four of Cups. Page of Swords is also a card of learning. It's a card of being curious, right? So we have to dig into our curiosity. That's why I went on the note-taking rant, is because I think just exploring your curiosity but sharing your experiences or collecting your experiences would be extremely valuable for you. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is a card of like equal give and take, right? And so I feel for a lot of you that this could be about balance. I kind of do get a weird message here, Leo, that like don't get too caught up in fairness, right? It's like sometimes I think we do this, and again, I'm not calling you out. We all do this, right? Where we start to get resentful of a situation, or we start like thinking like, oh, my partner hasn't been doing XYZ for the past like 6 months or whatever. But it's like, did you say something about it, or did you talk about it? I always say this, like I used to get the questions like this all the time on when I used to answer questions on lives that I did, and people would say, like, I don't have a good example, but people would be like, my partner hasn't said I love you in like 2 weeks or whatever, and it's like, have you talked to him about it? It's like, why? Like, don't let these things build. It's like when we let that build, that's when the breakup happens. That's when the bad things happens. It's like, maybe they have a lot going on. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe they don't want to burden you with some sort of issue, or maybe they're just an asshole. I don't know. But if you don't talk about it, you can't know, right? If you talk to them about it and they freak out and they call you names and they take it as a personal attack, then they're probably just a douche, right? Plain and simple. But maybe they say, oh, you know what, sorry, my friend has an issue going on, it's been consuming my brain, and I just haven't been thinking about it. And then if they fix it, then you found a good person, right? So, I don't know, Leo, this is really saying you need to call things out. And you don't even have to be a jerk about it or anything. You can just bring things up. If you're not getting something from a person or out of a situation, pop it into my head. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Death card. Death is like a change, of course. I feel like you're changing your own life, really. is what this is encouraging. So I think whatever you're doing in your life, you're causing change. With the Page of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands. It's kind of like, who do you want to be? You can be whoever you want, but you have to really make it happen here, Leo, with that Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, like, bold, assertive, and she really kind of, like, makes things happen. So, I would be bold and assertive at this time. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can represent, again, regrets or sadness. Did you have this? Oh, yeah, you have it twice here. Right here. I think you need to be grateful for what you have. The part of the Five of Cups, or the easy solution for the Five of Cups, is practicing gratitude. So I think practicing gratitude would be a good idea here. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this jealousy card. It says relationship radar, insecurity, and envy. Again, this is coming up in the good stuff, so this could be love coming in for you, because you also have this rendezvous card. I don't know. I'm not French. I can't say it right. That was a French joke for you French people out there. You have this attraction card. It says attraction, desire, longing, and taboo. Definitely could be attracting someone that you are very attracted to. So there you go. I think they're different, but there's a lot of attraction here. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you could be attracted to a person in a weird way. I don't know how to describe that, but I'm sure we all have that one person. I don't know. I don't want to expose your secrets here, Leo, but it's like, I think we all have a person where we're like, that person, it's like you can't explain it. You're just like, the person is attractive to me for some reason. It's kind of like that is what's popping into my head here. So there you go. You have the Five of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. These came out together. The Justice card and the Ten of Cups. The Five of Wands and the Four of Pentacles can represent holding on to something too tightly. Yeah, this really could just be about letting things go. But, it's coming up in the good stuff, which is good. It would say that you are probably just letting things go at this time, which might be setting you free, which, again, is a good thing. You have the Justice card. Justice is like cause and effect, and that's what the whole entire reading is saying you need to pay attention to, is like the good stuff, and I really pay attention to that. I do feel if you are dealing with anything legal, I literally feel some sort of justice here. I am getting the word discovery popping into my head. So if any of you are dealing with like a legal matter where there is like a process of discovery or whatever, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I have no clue what I'm talking about, but again, if you are dealing with that, I don't know, it's like there could be good news about it. I'm not saying things are going perfectly here. Again, I think that legal things are never, are obviously always bad, if, no matter what. Even if you're on the winning side, it usually is annoying and painful. So, again, I'll say that, but I don't know, I just feel like there could be a little bit of good news or something coming in here. You have the Ten of Cups. Again, Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. So, I think for some of you, this could literally just be fortune after difficulty. And, kind of like some blessings coming in for you with that Ten of Cups. Also good for love. With the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. I think that some of you could be getting to the bottom of a trigger as well here with these cards. There's something about like right now we have Chiron retrograde in Aries, which is a major pain in the ass. Don't even get me started on that. And we also have the South Node in Virgo, right? There's something about those two things right there where it's like I feel like we could be discovering like a trigger or something that is causing an issue in our life, right? And the good news is that we could be healing it because of those two things. So if you have a realization like, oh, I know why I have this issue in my life. It's because when I was 4 years old, someone said something to me, and I'm still stuck in that 4-year-old energy. Which again, I'm not calling you a 4-year-old. I'm just saying it's like we all have those like traumas and things like that from childhood. I believe that we should clear out because it's like we're not 4 anymore, right? And I don't know, that's popping into my head with that, is like you could be having a breakthrough with like some sort of past trauma or issue or whatever the case may be. With the Justice card, you have the Ten of Cups. Yes. If you want love, definitely very positive. Could be very good. Ten of Cups is also fortune after difficulty, like I said. So if you're dealing with something legal or even not, this could just be fortune after difficulty. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, if you're attracting love, could be a person who really like wants to work on a team. Three of Pentacles is an amazing card for teamwork and working together with people and like really making things happen in a good way. So that looks very good to me. You have this Firecracker card. It says excitement. on it. So it could be a very exciting week for you. I do feel excited about this week. So there you go. I don't know. I just feel more like, I feel like it's a more animated week. I feel we probably, it's the 11th, the retrograde's over. So, basically by the time you wake up in the morning, no matter where you are in the world. So, I think for the most part, we'll be feeling good. We'll be feeling motivated and all that other stuff. You have this horseshoe card. It says short journey on it. I'm a big fan of travel right now. Really, I shouldn't say that, because what I am a big fan of for everyone for the next several years is variety. Again, the more experiences we can have, the better. I can't stress it enough. It is the one thing that will set you apart with AI, is having experience to lean on, right? It's funny because I talk to a lot of creators, and a lot of them are worried about AI content. I'm like, yeah, but it's crap, right? And it's like, what's going to happen is that YouTube is going to get flooded with more AI crap, and the people that are going to stand out are the people who give advice but share the experience, right? I just gave you $1 million idea, I promise you. So take advantage of it. It's free. It doesn't take any time at all. I do you wouldn't even believe how much I do in a day, right? And I still find time to be able to take my note, at least one note. That's my rule. I just take one note in the morning for the most part, right? I learn something, I take a note on it, I give it a little plant emoji, right? The plant emoji is what tells me that I need to come and revisit that note and have an experience with it. Then I give it a tree emoji when I've had my experience, right? There you go. It's made me, I cannot even tell you how much money, a ridiculous amount, because it allows me to do things like create products for other businesses and all sorts of stuff. Again, literally the most profitable thing I've ever done in my life, and it's free. It doesn't cost any money. You have this dragon card. It says, beware of self-delusion, right? Yeah, Neptune's retrograding back into Pisces. Not yet, but it's soon enough. And I do think that with Neptune and Pisces, we just need to make sure that we're being realistic. That's it. You have this barrel card that says, you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. There you go. Whatever it is, I feel you can fill in that gap at this time. So you can have something that you feel is lacking. You have this ladder card that says, climbing towards success. Yeah, waking the lion, climbing towards success, kind of the same thing. But this is one heck of a reading, Leo. I love it. So there you go. Love it. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.